Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled, The Risk You Are Not Taking is Already Costing You. Here we go. There's a belief that has quietly derailed more leadership careers than any bad hire or failed initiative. It's the belief that not deciding is the same as not risking, that holding your position is neutral, that waiting for more information before moving is the disciplined choice. It's not. Inaction is a decision. It just happens to be one you never had to defend out loud. Mark Zuckerberg said it pretty plainly when he said, "The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that is changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks." That line tends to land differently depending upon where you are in your career. Younger leaders hear permission. Seasoned leaders sometimes feel resistance. That resistance is worth examining. I worked with a senior executive not long ago who had built an exceptional division over 15 years. Profitable, stable, respected. When a market shift created a window for expansion, she hesitated. The data wasn't perfect. The timing felt uncertain. The team was comfortable. 6 months later, a competitor moved into that window. The division didn't collapse, but the conversation about what could have been never fully went away. She didn't fail because she lacked information. She failed to act because she had confused caution with judgment. They are not the same thing. Caution is a reflex. Judgment is a discipline. The most common misread of this idea is that it's an argument for recklessness. That is absolutely not the case. Nobody serious is suggesting you bet the organization on instinct and optimism. That's not risk-taking. That is noise dressed as boldness. What Zuckerberg is pointing to is something more precise. In a world that changes faster than any strategic plan can fully anticipate, and we're certainly in that space now, the default posture of avoidance has a cost. That cost is real. It just tends to be invisible until it's not. Leaders who never take risks do not stay safe. They become irrelevant on a delay. Here's the reframe I give to every executive I coach who is stuck in this pattern. Stop asking whether a decision is risky. Every meaningful decision carries risk. Every decision. Start asking what the cost of not deciding actually is. Model it the same way you would model any other business risk. What's the probability of a negative outcome if you move? What's the probability of a negative outcome if you don't move? Leaders who only see the downside of action have a blind spot on the downside of inaction. That blind spot is expensive. And here's what I've seen consistently. The leaders who build cultures of disciplined risk-taking, where failure is defined, bounded, and learned from, outperform the ones who celebrate caution at every turn. Not because they're luckier, because they're in motion. And motion creates information that standing still never will. Before you close out your week, I want you to do one thing. Identify the decision you've been circling for the longest. The one you keep moving to the next agenda, the next quarter, the next conversation. And ask yourself honestly, am I avoiding this because the information is genuinely incomplete, or because I am more comfortable with the uncertainty of waiting than with the accountability of choosing? Those are two very different situations, and the answer will tell you something important about how you are leading right now. Risk is not the opposite of responsibility. Avoidance is. The leaders who last are not the ones who never lose. They're the ones who never stop moving. They take calculated positions, learn from what doesn't work, and adjust with the same discipline they brought to the original decision. Zuckerberg's line is not about startups or disruption or growth at all costs. It's about something more fundamental. In a world that doesn't stand still, the most dangerous place a leader can choose to stand is exactly where they are.